Good morning, chat. Let's try and get this one right here. It's deciding not to behave. Come on, stream elements. Don't be like that. There we go. Camera switch. That's what we're talking about. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. Let's go again. Why are we? Some morning technical glitches this morning, I guess. Come on. Let's see if we can share chat. Perfect. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Now we can actually start. All right, so today we got a pull day. I'm gonna start with rows, real simple. This is just a warm-up set. So bent over row. Try to keep your knees mostly straight. There'll be a little bend naturally. Mostly keep the back pretty much flat, giving you guys a side angle for that exact reason. Keep your back flat. Really pull with your lats. You pull with your lats. That's where you get the activation. That's what we want. That's the whole point. So start there. Side. Right. And you can start from either on the top of a half rack or at the ground. It doesn't really matter. Feeling pretty good. So we're gonna add a little bit more weight. Let's see, where did we row at last time? 225 for sets of 6 and 7. I think we're gonna go a little bit lower weight, a little bit more hypertrophy today. Start 185, go from there. All right. The thing I often use for bent over rows is a lifting belt. It's entirely optional. And a lot of people who don't maybe bend quite as far over as I do would find this unnecessary. It's not a requirement for me, but in general, since you're bent over, if you're bent over this far, or if you're bent over this far and you're doing bent over rows like this, doesn't matter as much. If you're bent over this far and your whole goal is to isolate, really work your lats, what you don't want to be doing is this. That's a good way to get hurt. You don't want to bend your spine. So if you have a belt, I find that it helps prevent that. You use your abs to push against the belt, push against your back, keep you straight. I recommend lifting belts for heavy squats and deadlifts in particular, but it's not necessary for rows. It's just I prefer it. I don't really consider it a crutch. I can do these without and have done them without, but given the choice, why not? It's a tool. You can use it. It's the same reason one might use straps. Speaking of, I think I do have straps coming in the mail, which will be nice because usually on pull days, at some point, the failure point on a lot of my sets later in pull workouts becomes my grip strength, which is not ideal. Morning, Paul. Welcome on in. All right, first set, let's go. Yeah, it is early today. But one other thing, as far as grip position, you can play around with it. Generally, I like to go about shoulder width apart. It allows my my elbows to stay fairly tight. But you can try a wide grip. There's some benefits to that. You can try a little bit narrower. There's some benefits to that in general. I don't think grip strength matters quite as much on this one. If you do a wide grip, you're probably not going to be able to lift the same amount of weight, but otherwise, you know, it's play around with. All right. I think that was 10. It's not bad. So today we're going to do 4 sets of this. We'll hit shrugs next. Probably upright rows. Move over to curls. We'll do 2 different curl exercises. Hit meadows rows. A couple more curl sets. Pull downs and cable cross. How you doing, Paul? By the way, any of y'all can give me an AV check. Still getting used to everything in terms of streaming setup. Should be coming through the headphones, which I checked, watched the tape last stream, seemed pretty clear. Only drawback to this is I can't really play music, which sucks, but what are you gonna do? I'll find an alternative solution to that. Working on working. Cool, cool. But glad to hear it. Just wanted to make sure we're all good. Okay, set number 2. Again, you don't have to bend quite as far over as I tend to. I probably go a bit more on the extreme for bending over, but I find it makes me isolate my lats a little bit more, even if it means maybe I'm not putting up the same weight as I ought to be. I feel like I can feel the squeeze in my lats a little bit better, so I think it's worth it. Another good cue to keep your back straight, by the way, is one I'm guilty of. When you're doing your bent over rows, look forward, don't look down. You look forward, kind of forces your spine to stay straighter. This is another good cue if you're squatting and you have trouble with this. Even if you want to look down, gaze downward. Don't bend don't tilt your head down. You can use your eyes to look down instead of your head. Or you can just look up, which is sort of what I tend to do. When I squat, I look forward or look up. All right, not bad. But that feels pretty good. I think we can go up weight a bit. Yeah, let's go with 205, I think. Feel a little bit heavier. It felt pretty good. think the way we're gonna do this is we'll do one more set of bent over rows at 205, and then we'll do switch to a couple behind the butt shrugs. We'll go a couple regular overhand grip shrugs. We'll come back and do a wide grip bent over row at slightly lighter weight, maybe something like 155. Then we'll probably do upright rows, and then we'll move on. I'm always afraid I'll bang my knees with weights. Yeah, so you might have noticed on the first rep I did just that. It happens. Um, Mind over matter, power through it. Keep your right. Remember what the goal of this exercise is. The goal of this exercise is to squeeze your lats. You should be working your lats. You should be feeling it in your upper back. That's the whole point of this one. So, you know, apart from keeping everything below about your rib cage pretty static, uh, if it hits your knees, just power through, honestly. Try your best not to make it hit your knees, but it may do that sometimes. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. Why did he time out? Huh, that's weird. That's Sorry about that. Oh, I didn't do that. I don't know if a bot did that or one of my mods. If any of my mods are on, undo that timeout. I don't know how to do it from mobile, so maybe he timed himself out. Let's focus. Come on. Next set. Try for 8 here. Let's go. Let's go. That's too much weight. The last few reps are garbage. Yeah, don't like that. Hey, Nightmask, welcome on in. Day's going pretty well here so far. It's really just starting. Sunrise just kind of happened here. So we're gonna bring this up now. Go. And the reason we're bringing it up is to hit shrugs. We're going behind the back here. Actually, just a touch more. Weather's looking nice. I mean, it's Hawaii. The weather's always nice here, except for rainy season, which it isn't. It's July. It's 85 degrees and sunny. It's always 85 degrees and sunny. I think the high is like this entire month has bounced between like 87 and 88. But even then, it only hits that for like a couple hours at like 1, 2 in the afternoon. The rest of the time, it's between 75 and 85. It's great. So don't need my belt for this. So take it off. So, full question here. Why would we go front shrugs versus behind the butt shrugs? Answer is work slightly different chunks of your trap muscles. So the trap muscles really have two parts. First is the top part that you see, like I'm doing this, the muscle that the t-shirt is hanging off of. By the way, shout out Empire Legacy Tech. Type in !Empire if you want to see more of that. But the front part of your traps, you can see a lot in person looking forward at someone. Looking from behind someone, though, you shrug up. Back here is the other part of your trap. Moving the barbell changes what part of the traps you hit. So behind you're going behind the butt. That's exactly the point. So you may not see necessarily a difference from this angle, but it does make a difference in how it feels. Yeah, I don't know why. Paul, I don't know why you got timed out. I'll try and figure out what happened there. Morning, Kareem. Welcome on in. Doing great. Let me back y'all off. Touch so you can actually see the barbell behind my hips. Seems like it might be a good way to do it. Yeah, that's better. So, shrug, five, five. Let's do one more. I don't know if can I get a audio check as well? When I did stream last time, I was running audio through the Bluetooth headphones, which really seems to work out pretty well. The only unfortunate downside is I can't listen to music while I work out. So what I will probably do in the long run is convert these to music, get myself like a flip mic, and have that sync up with this phone. But that's I need to figure out which mic I want to do that with. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. You notice I'm really trying to. I lean back a little bit on this one. The whole goal here is again hit that rear part of the traps. Yeah, the real challenge with those is grip strength more than anything else. All right, so now we're gonna move to conventional barbell shrugs. In general, I prefer barbell shrugs over dumbbell shrugs because unless you're at a commercial gym where you have dumbbells north of 100 pounds, you're going to get to the point where 100-pound shrugs with dumbbells is fairly easy if you keep at it. That's kind of the nice thing with shrugs. Your body can isolate that weight pretty easily because you're just standing up, which means you're typically better off with a barbell to do those reps. I am up early, yes. It is not quite 7 in the morning here, Hawaiian time. To be honest, I like it that way though. I woke up at 5:30, so I have to wake up at 0500 for my job anyway. So what I'm trying to do is adjust my sleep schedule to where I'm in bed no matter what day no later than about 10, because that way I'll naturally wake up 5 to 5:30 on the weekends. Keeps my sleep schedule in better check. Uh, it's very easy, very much easier said than done. Between that and late night food cravings, those are really my two weak points. Getting enough sleep and late night food cravings are probably related. In fitness, I need to do better on both of them. All right, so now for this, I'm going to do an opposite hand grip. You can do a double overhand grip for shrugs, but the reason I'm not here is because between one more set of barbell rows, meadows rows, pull downs, cable cross, all the other back exercises we're going to do, if I go double overhand grip, all I'm going to do is wear my grip strength out even faster, and I need to preserve it somewhat, right? Grip strength is not the primary, it's not the primary thing we're trying to train, even with shrugs. What we're trying to do is work our back muscles mostly, so back traps and biceps. So if we preserve our grip strength, we can get better workouts on those muscles. That's really the point behind straps. Now, I've historically not used, I'll talk about straps. I'm gonna do a set first. Okay, let's talk about straps. So the whole point of a strap is that you put it around your wrist, and as a result, the load from the bar or the dumbbell or whatever you're holding is distributed to your wrist instead of just onto your hands. And what that does is it allows you to continue hitting reps where your grip strength may be fading, but your muscles have more gas left in the tank. For me, this has become a bit of a sticking point for my workouts. It's not to say that you should use straps every time. You shouldn't. There are some things where you really, really do still need to train your grip strength. For instance, I would say unless you're truly pulling at max strength for say a deadlift, don't use straps. You'd be better off, at least for the first few sets, hitting them bare because that trains your grip strength. But there is diminishing marginal returns to where I would say, put it this way, like once your grip strength becomes the limiting factor in a workout, that's where you want to start using straps. Train your grip strength up to a point, but don't let grip strength be a reason you don't hit as many reps as you want to for your other muscles that you're training on pull workouts. Generally speaking, you don't use straps for any push workouts. It's usually pulls, shrugs, deadlifts, rows, pull downs, stuff like that. So no late night dates for me. No dates for me, period. I'm still very new to this island. I'm not really looking to date. That's not at the moment. I have way too much to do between all the modeling work I'm going to be doing, setting myself up here, and streaming to you guys. I don't have the time, uh, and it's just not that high priority in my life. I've kind of lived by the mantra of punt dating until your 30s, let your own stock rise. I see no reason to stop that now at age 29. So we'll revisit that in 2025. But as for now, no, I don't see much value in dating. That's not to say I'm not open to it, but it's just that I'm not actively going to pursue it. I have plenty of other interesting things I'd rather do with my time, including stream to you guys. 4 sets of shrugs, move to upright rows, do 2 sets of that, 1 more set of wide grip bent over rows, and then we'll move. So much in the same way that a shrug works your traps, so too does an upright row. What I like about upright rows is that the range of motion is really long. So you get this really great big pull where you squeeze your traps a lot at the top. It's not really anything scientific per se, but I really like the way this exercise feels. It's not one that's meant to be done at a ton of weight. Nobody's going to ever ask you what your upright row max is. Nobody's 1 rep maxing this exercise, but it's still really, I think, quite beneficial to do. I think it feels really nice, and that's why I do it. So we're just putting 145 on, nothing crazy. I want to try and go for 10 reps. Typically I go 135 to 145. Really depends on the day and how my body is feeling, but pretty good. Hey, what's up, Winter Raven? Good to see you. But yeah, so to answer your question, no, we're not doing very much on the dating scene. It's just fine. Frankly, that's just the way I like it. This is slightly off. There we go. Get it dead on. That's better. So upright row. Y'all have seen me do this exercise in the past, but in general, a good rule of thumb for hand placement is really stretch your thumbs, put them together, and that's roughly about where your hand should be when you come up with it. And the key to this exercise is when you're coming up with it, you got to make sure to squeeze like it's a shrug at the top. If you're just doing this, you're not training your traps, right? You've got to squeeze at the top. You squeeze at the top, you get way more out of this exercise. So as great as the whole range of motion is, that top 25% is really what we're looking for. The truth is a lot of pulls are like that, right? Bent over rows, that squeeze at the top, right? Pull downs, that squeeze at the bottom. Pulls, that's really the core of the exercise. It's really the keystone to it. With pull workouts, right, again, apart from maybe bent over rows, nobody's ever going to ask you what your max is. It's not typically seen the same way as BSD, bench squat deadlift. So focus on the hypertrophy. Focus on trying to get good form, and check your ego as much as you can. For instance, when I was doing that set on 205 there, probably shouldn't have done that. By about rep 5, my form was starting to break down, putting too much English on it, and I wasn't squeezing as much at the top. So it's hard. Sometimes you have to recognize, all right, this was not a good idea. I thought maybe I could get 8 with it. I got 8 reps technically, but the last 3 I don't think were good enough for. I'm gonna go back and look at the film on that, of course, because I could be wrong. They could have turned out great, but they did not feel as though I was squeezing quite as much. And part of it's grip strength too. I think if I had straps, I'd be a lot more confident to hit that. Anyway, touch your thumbs. That's roughly about where your hand placement should be. Oh, it's tough. Again, just about getting to that point where form's starting to break those last 1-2 reps. And that's okay, right? If it's the last rep and your form breaks a little bit, that's natural. Control that as best you can, minimize it, right? But if in effect you get 9.5 reps, That's still pretty good. By the way, can I get a, does that exercise put a lot of pressure on your elbows? Um, some. It does put some pressure on your elbows, but the main pull is going to be from your traps and a tiny bit in your delts. So remember, this is not much weight, at least relative to everything else I've done. This is the lightest workout weight we're using. There's a reason for that. So if you're new to this exercise, start with the bar. Get really good with the form first, and then add weight. Again, nobody's ever going to ask you what your max is on this. That's not the purpose of this exercise. So yeah, so how's the audio on this? If I could get an audio check, I'd much appreciate it. So we'll do this. Then we're going to do one more set of rows. We're going to go back to bent over rows, do a wide grip. Then we'll move on to we'll hit some curl because we gotta work the guns today. You stretch your thumbs, get them in the right position. We'll say it's something of a unique challenge to do this without workout music. I wish I had it, but it's definitely kind of a good change of pace. Make me think. I feel like I'm focusing a little bit more on squeezing the right muscles instead of hammering through it. So pros and cons. Anyway. That's 9. That's all I got. Oof. All right. Not bad. All right. So now for this next exercise, we're going back to bent over rows for our final. This is going to be more hypertrophy based. Probably looking for a set of 15 here. So instead of going right to the 185 we were doing, I think we're going to try 155. Instead of going for the conventional grip, we go for a wide grip. Now, in general, wide grip makes things harder, at least for me. I find that I don't quite have the same ability to squeeze out here that I do in here, but your mileage may vary. You may find wide grip works better for you. It's uncommon, but it does happen. Audio is good, excellent. Hey, Night Owl, sorry about the timeout. I don't know what or who caused that, but I do apologize for that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry about that though. All right, it's gonna look the same for y'all, but instead of being here, I'm gonna be a little bit further out. You probably won't see much of a difference uh, in the side angle, but I prefer to show you the side angle on all of these. Actually, it has nothing to do with y'all's preferences, everything to do with mine. Because after the workout, I can go back and watch and check my form, and I find that to be really useful. It's one of the reasons I like streaming. They can write it down, and this is another reason I'm a huge fan of writing down your workouts, because let's say you hit an exercise and you really like the way it feels and you get a really good burn, uh, or you feel like it was really good, you can write that down. Consequently, uh, you can make progress on it. And on the converse, if there's an exercise where you feel like you really didn't get much out of it, for instance, yesterday I tried chest flies. So I was standing up, bringing dumbbells together instead of cables. So I tried standing chest flies with a dumbbell. I didn't feel like I got much out of it, so I wrote that down. So I probably won't do that again. Same with rack pulls, right? If rack pulls work for you, great. But for me, it felt like I was wasting my time. I didn't feel like I was getting very much out of it. The fun part with rack pulls is, of course, you can put up monster amounts of weight. But if you're not getting a good burn out of it, if you don't feel like you're working anything, you're wasting your time. You're loafing. Okay, 155. We're going bent over rows. Should be nice and easy. So, okay, a little side note. When I do wide grip on rows, I mirror it about wide grip on bench. For most, uh, for most bars that you would use for a row or for anything else, a squat, a deadlift, a bench, they have it has knurling on it, and it has little breaks in the knurling as cues for where to put your hands on different things. Usually, for bench press, for instance, I will put kind of my pinky or index finger or pinky and ring finger, that gap between them, I line that up the gap in the knurling. For wide grip rows, I go a little bit further out than that. So I go index finger on the gap in the knurling. Play around with it. There is no right answer here. There is no wrong answer. Figure out what feels the best for you. Your mileage may vary. That's why in some ways weightlifting is it's I don't I don't like the scientific approach 100% of the time. There are some scientific principles to be at play, don't get me wrong, but biology means we're all somewhat different, and as a result, we're going to feel differently about different exercises. So what will work for one person may not necessarily work for others based on body physiology. There's nothing wrong with that. So you do have to kind of feel around with it sometimes. All right, let's go. 12, yeah. See, that's why I want straps. Even there, grip strength is starting to fade before my lats are fading. It's okay. Still got 15. The reps felt pretty good. The last three maybe weren't quite as nice, but they were still, I think, better than my heavier sets. Okay, now we move to curls. Start polishing off the guns. Five, 15. You know what, actually? Need to refill my water. Hey, Eris, welcome on in. That'll have to take some of the pressure off your lower back. Yeah, what it really does is it allows you to take your abs and use your abs, push against the belt, which keeps your spine more aligned. Again, the whole point is to isolate, get your lats and anything else. So you need to get water, use the bathroom. So give me just a few seconds here, y'all. Needed it. Oh, water. All right, so we got curls next. Um, Now with bicep curls, a lot of people tend to, just tack that on at the end of the workout. And if you want bigger biceps, right? Like if you want a big chest, you want big legs, you wouldn't just tack squats on, right? You do some actually decent heavy sets, maybe sets of 6, sets of 8. So that's what we're gonna do here. Now you can do preacher curls, or you can do straight curls. I prefer straight curls, so that's what we're gonna do. Sorry, you can do easy bar curls, you can do straight curls. I prefer straight curls. Um, just for regular curling bar. Looking really handsome today. I appreciate that. Thank you. So we flip the camera because we got a nice big fat mirror here. Bring this up just a tad. What's nice here too is bring this a bit further forward, right? Y'all should be able to see what we're doing. Just like this. Try to keep your elbows as tucked in as you can. All right, that's good. So that was just a set of 8, right? You can do, right, when I hit pull days, biceps are one of my prime muscles that I'm moving. So, I'll still hit the higher rep range later, but for the first set, I like to go a little bit lower rep range, be it preacher curls, be it straight curls, be it chin ups, right? And I like to do it with a little bit more weight. Again, if you were squatting or benching, you wouldn't just do 15 rep sets. But yesterday I did 15 rep sets of bench, but usually I don't just do that. You can do a variety of rep ranges and you'll see better results. I will say, getting a pretty good workout pump today. I was noticing it hitting biceps here. Worked out pretty well. I like the Bucky shirt. Oh. God bless Texas. Oh, another one for heavy workouts. So in general, for my heavier stuff, the 3 bicep workouts I like to do is chins, which we're not doing today, hammer curls, which we're not doing today, or straight curls, which we are doing today. Sometimes I do preacher curls, incline curls, cable curls, reverse curls, but those in general, I tend to make those more my 12 to 15 rep sets. Let's go. That's 9. That's tough. Feeling that my biceps is good. Can I get a view count update from y'all? Unfortunately, uh, another challenge I'm working on is trying to figure out how the streams work. 17, awesome, thank you. Whatever reason Stream Elements decides, hey, what if we just didn't tell you your viewers and just kept it at 0 the whole stream? Which is really annoying, but nothing I can do. It does give me my follower count, which is nice. I'm at 2008. Definitely a great year where nothing went wrong. Am I right? All right. There's a second set of straight bar curls. We'll do a third. One thing I like here too is all the barbells are iron bowls, which I think I don't need to explain why I like that brand. Actually, it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm BullMuscle. I was gifted several years ago. Y'all seen my ubiquitous Iron Bowl branded belt. They're not paying me to sponsor them. Or they're not sponsoring me or anything like that. Would love it if they did, but no, I just put that belt through the ringer for the last 2 years, and it's been nothing short of rock solid. So they've earned my loyalty. Um, like for my straps, I decided to take those off a throne and just buy them myself. For the straps, I'm gonna go with the Iron Bowl brand solely because this belt has been really good. I'm a huge believer in brand loyalty, right? If I were to buy another car, I would be biased towards buying a Chevrolet because the Chevrolet I owned previously ran flawlessly for me for 96,000 miles over the course of 7 years. I can't complain. You know, obviously cars nowadays do their first 100,000 miles with minimal maintenance issues, but I mean, this thing is sterling, got terrific fuel economy. Um, Definitely would recommend a Chevy Bolt if you're looking for a good commuter car. Of course, nowadays, because I live on Oahu, I don't need a car, and I bike everywhere. Speaking of things that drive me bonkers, I was have some interesting fun graphs. Put them in the adult topic conversation chat this morning or last night, and one of them is gasoline taxes by state, and Hawaii is, I believe, in the bottom 5. Now, they're going to say, oh, but Hawaii gas prices are so high. Well, of course they're high. Hawaii does not have natural oil resources, so you have to ship everything here. It's a 2,000-mile boat journey. Of course, gas prices are going to be high. That's just basic supply and demand. If it costs more to supply oil somewhere, it will cost more to refine it, and therefore it will cost more to sell it, right? But Hawaii gas taxes are too low. We artificially subsidize fossil fuels in this state, and then we wonder why everybody drives because we haven't invested very much into alternatives to driving. And then we wonder why traffic in Honolulu is some of the worst in the country. It's self-explanatory, and it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound is what I would call it. There's absolutely no reason Oahu should be designed with the infrastructure that it has, and the civil engineers that have resided on this island for the past 60 years should be very much ashamed of the work they've done. It's not good. All right, let's go. Of course, all that work was sponsored by the Interstate Highways Act of 1956 and its consequences. And yes, sometimes I actually think about that act when I do workouts because it pisses me off and makes me lift harder. I think that's 9. You can type in exclamation mark HW to put that in the log of how many times I've said that on stream. All right, so we're gonna get the reverse curls. Now, reverse curls, also known as forearm curls, are exactly what you think. You can do them with the straight bar. I prefer doing them with the easy bar because it brings uh, the angle of the bar slightly different. It's slightly canted, and I feel as though this allows me to really work, right? What are we trying to do here? We're trying to work the meat of your forearm, which is right here. And what you can do a forearm like this with a straight bar. Like, look, even just trying to mimic the motion with the straight bar, my hands aren't straight like this. You can try going like this, but then you end up having to curl your wrist. But even then, look, you can see, naturally speaking, your hands are going to be sort of canted. So the curling bar works really well for that. So curling bar, I usually like to go for reverse curls or forearm curls. I generally like to go somewhere between 10 and 15 reps per set. Control is the name of the game here. Again, your forearms muscle, not particularly big. The cap on this thing's starting to fall off. It's an old curling bar, but it'd be all right. So again, you'll notice hands are slightly canted. Then goal is to really, really squeeze, bring these together. There should be, what you don't want is a gap in the elbows. You really want that you want that crease right there. All right. You got to keep the elbows as tucked in as you can. Go this way, show you guys it from this angle. It's 13. It's pretty good. Actually, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it this way. It's keeping me way more honest. I was starting to rotate my elbows forward at the end. You don't want to be doing this. You really want to keep it like this. So I was starting to cheat by the last few reps. But again, it's okay if you're doing that, last rep or two. If you're cheating the entire set, lower the weight. So that was 13 reps. We'll stick with 75. I believe this easy bar doesn't have any markings on it because it's old, but I've held it in my hand, held it with a 25-pound dumbbell in the other hand, and those felt about the same. 20 pounds felt too light, 30 pounds felt too heavy, which makes me believe this is 25 pounds plus or minus 5, which is good enough, right? Again, nobody's gonna sit here and ask you, bro, what do you preach your curling, bro? What are you reverse curl? Nobody's gonna ask you that. So you might as well really focus on focus on the form, focus on the reps. Don't worry quite as much about the actual weight. If it's within plus or minus 5 pounds, not that big of a deal. Veins. Oh yeah, we're getting a good pump today. I don't always use pre-workout, but because today's very early in the day, and because I need to run some serious caloric deficits, a little caffeine actually really helps with that. So took a little bit of pre-workout, feeling pretty good. I don't feel like it affects me as much as pre-workout used to, which is odd because my caffeine intake's kind of low. Like I haven't felt the tingles you'd normally get from like beta alanine or anything like that. I couldn't tell you why that is, but I just know that that's how I'm reacting to it. I'm actually a bit disappointed. Uh, I probably won't buy from them, from the brand I got this time again. I don't know much about pre-workouts, but the local shop had a sale. It was just a GNC. Had a buy one get one 50% off, which means it was cheaper than basically anywhere else. So I stocked up. So I've got several months supply of this stuff. So we're not changing anytime soon. That being said, if you have a pre-workout you recommend, please put it in my Discord channel, uh, or better yet, recommend it on my throne, so that way I can throw it on there and keep record of it. Because again, I don't know anything about pre-workouts. I'll tell you what, show you guys the left-hand side on this one. Goes over a bit more. There we go. Yeah, I really want to keep that elbow static. Come on, keep it static. Come on, it's 10. Come on, all the way up. That's 14. I'll take that. That's pretty good. Trying not to reopen a little cut I've got on my pinky finger. I sliced it on a cleaver yesterday. My brother said GNC is great for pre. So, right, it wasn't the GNC brand. It was the Bucked Up brand. Um, that's what another friend of mine had recommended to me. I use it my bro, but I'm just not that wild about it. Like I don't feel like it's doing much. It's definitely giving me a slightly better pump, but they sell the decaf pumpocalypse for that, and I just as easily do that. Which sometimes I'll do that at the for afternoon workouts. Mr. Universe, here he comes. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Winter Raven. We're doing my battery. All right, we're doing just fine. All right. So we got one more set of this, and we'll move back to rows. We're gonna do the Meadows row next. For those of you who don't know what the Meadows row is, it's a really great single arm row variation um, with a barbell. I would say the Meadows row is somewhat analogous to Croc row. I prefer the Meadows row, if only because I feel like I can get a better squeeze off of it. I feel like it's more controlled. I feel like you can put less body English on it because of the way you rest your other arm. But to each his own. Just the brands of my gym buddies. So I do appreciate that. Right, my goal for the moment is hypertrophy. Really, aesthetic. I'm not. I'm not looking to get any bigger. In fact, my modeling director has complained multiple times that I'm too big. That I've got so much muscle, especially with my legs and my glutes, that it's very difficult to find pants that fit me. Which, in my defense, would be easier if, say, for instance, on Thursday, he didn't come over with steaks and miso soup and fried rice and completely blow out my my calorie budget for that day. Don't get me wrong, it was delicious, and I had hit a really hard leg day in anticipation of that, but not good for the diet. I'll talk about that after this set. Let's go. 10. Keep your elbows tucked in. Let's go. Let's get 15. Ooh, feeling that in the forearms. It's good. All right, move over to Meadows row now. Hopefully that area isn't taken. Shouldn't be. It's still fairly early. That's part of the reason I stream so early. Is because I'm not an asshole, right? I know I take up space and I'm loud and whatever on my stream. So if I'm going early in the morning when the gym's still relatively empty, I feel like I can do this without being uh, sort of a pain in the butt to everybody else. If I came in later in the day, it'd be kind of rude. So we come over here. There's a landmine. All right. Set y'all up right there. Go get a bar. So this right here is called a landmine attachment because it looks kind of like a landmine, right? So the idea here is very simple. With the Meadows row in particular, I personally think the best way to do this is not to use the big plates. The reason being is you get better range of motion with 25s. So just have to go get some. Okay, I think 85 should be a good starting point. Now for Meadows row, again, I'm not doing this for, this is more for hypertrophy than for super heavy weight. So sets of 10 to 15 should be about what we're looking for here. This is a good posing area, yes, but we're nowhere near done the workout, so y'all can be patient on that. So, all right, so the Meadows row, how does this work? Meadows row, you take one foot, you take your outer foot, you cant it outwards, you take your front foot, trying to put it, actually wait, no, sorry. Take your inner foot, you cant it inwards towards the landmine. You take your outer foot, place it a little bit outside the edge of the bar. Rest your elbow on one foot and pull with the other arm. The idea here being that you want to try and lean a little bit towards the outside. Sorry, you want to lean a little bit towards the inside. The idea here is to really stretch that lat muscle and pull it as best as you can. So I'm going to do this side facing the camera. The other side will face away from the camera. Hopefully y'all can see the lat in motion. Tell me what y'all think of this angle. This is the first time I've done Meadows rows on stream. I'm still fairly new to them, so I'm still tweaking my form as it goes. If any of y'all have good Meadows row tips, maybe you, John, if you're watching, I'm all ears. This is another exercise where I'm really excited to get straps for. Grip strength has become a limiting factor here, unfortunately. Grip is failing well before lats are. There we go. Should fist rise for better grip strength. No, so okay, I do like the rice bucket grip challenge. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not really the issue here. My grip strength, right? Y'all were seeing me shrug 315 earlier. Y'all were seeing me row 185, 205 earlier. It's the endurance. I don't think there's really any way to fix that. Lord knows I've tried in terms of working out. I've done wrist curls. I've done all sorts of stuff. I might do some wrist curls at the end of this to really hit the forearms a little bit better. But I think what it really boils down to is there's just a fail point. And again, I'm getting close to it where I'm having to limit what I can do with my lats, my delts, my other back muscles, traps, and even biceps, because my grip strength just can't keep up for the, you know, fairly long workouts I do. So that's why I'm going for straps. Well, as a kid, helped me with climbing trees. For sure. Hey, Bowser, good to see you. So set number 2. We're going again, sets of 12. I have the lat strength to do more. It's just, yeah, this is one where I really do think straps would be an unbelievable help. This one in particular is tough because right from the Meadows row, it's not that you're grabbing just anything. You're grabbing the edge of the bar, which is wider than the rest of the barbell or the handle on a dumbbell. So it's like basically doing a fat grip row. And the whole point of fat grips is to train your grip strength, right? Well, again, my grip strength's already at a fail point. I don't like that it's limiting the rest of what I do. By the way, can I get another AD check? Obviously, this is a new area we're in, so I want to make sure audio visual still sounds good. Yeah, see, I'm losing my grip. Yeah, it's not the lats that are my fail point right now. That's so frustrating. I got to get me some straps. Okay. Audio good, 10 out of 10. Lovely. Sleep good, more new box wings. Oh, nice. Good to see you, Big Red. By the way, y'all, how would y'all like a beautiful view of downtown Honolulu? Because that's what I'm seeing right now. There you go. Pretty neat, huh? Yep. There's Honolulu, the port, Sand Island, and the Pacific Ocean, the Mackay side. So if you were to go in that direction, you would not hit land again until you got all the way to Antarctica, at which point, unless you had one hell of a boat, you'd be dead. So kind of a wild thing to think about. So, should think this was literally bags of rice. Yeah, I know. You take a bucket of rice and you do this with it for like 5 minutes a day. I know what you're talking about. It's just, right, I'm at the point where I'm not saying like I'm too good for that, because I'm not. And it would probably help some, but it's not it's not a grip strength problem per se. It's a grip endurance problem, right? This is, let's see, it's our third set of Meadows rows. We've done 4, 8, 10, 13. This will be our 19th set so far in in the gym today out of 30, right? The issue here is endurance. And unless I'm doing this with a rice bucket for like an hour at a time, my grip strength just isn't gonna keep up. It isn't. I may start doing that some, uh, maybe on the rest day streams. I'll have just a bowl of rice and just be doing this. I might do that, but it's just there's a limit as to how good that's gonna be. So let's see, we got one more set of this. Then we're gonna do pull downs, incline curls, cable cross, concentration curls, and then some abs, and we'll be done. Yeah, I'm starting to feel my fingers rubbing raw. All right, here we go. There we go. All right, your rack, remove the pull downs. Again, this will probably be one where grip strength is the fail point. The question is, do I want to do cable or machines like hammer strength? I'm feeling hammer strength today. Bro, I really don't think you understand just how intense my pull workouts are. It's not it's not grip strength that's the problem. How many times do I have to say it's endurance, right? Yeah, we've done 19 sets in the gym so far. No amount of rice training, unless I'm doing it for like an hour at a time, is going to fix that. Also, there are no bouldering areas here, so like my grip strength is already pretty good. Again, I can like okay, so when I'm fresh, right? All-time deadlift PR is 500 pounds. It takes a very good grip strength to be able to do that. But the problem is that as the sets go on, I lose grip strength because I run out of endurance, I guess I should say. Like it's not like a peak grip strength that's the problem here. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not communicating this well or something because it sounds like you're not. But you can even see this in the sets, right? The first, on the Meadows rows there, the first 6, 7, 8 reps, no problem. The last few sets, it's not that my lats are tiring out, So my grip is giving out. That's because we've been doing a lot of work. Did your calm get affected by the CrowdStrike hacking? It did not. Fair enough. Is endurance like a ceiling for everyone? Is there something you can do? I mean, train it. It's just, right, how long we've been going for here. It's, in the same way that you do, so let's take my push workouts. I usually do 10 sets of shoulders, 10 sets of chest, and 10 sets of triceps, right? My sets 8 to 10, I'm doing more hypertrophy, lower weight stuff because the natural endurance starts to fail. All right, so we do lat pull downs. It's a little too easy. Throw 25s on there. Actually, go 35s. A little bit heavier. So that'd be 90, 180, 250. I like it. So that's 250 is like a pull up with a little bit more weight. So the nice thing with a lat pull down machine like this, you can either go underhand like a chin, or you can go overhand like a pull down, and both. There's different pros and cons to each. You only do 3 to 4, 5 sets of reps before I can't do anymore. Yeah. We got 14 minutes ago. I gotcha. Look, I don't doubt bouldering. Dude, bouldering sounds like fun. And I do need to continue working on grip strength. But again, there is just a natural limit. There's a point at which straps would become very useful. I think, especially again for hypertrophy, right, of the lats and delts. All right, we go underhand and overhand. We got 4 sets of this, so 2 sets of each. This is one again. It's just it's the grip. Again, first 8 sets, piece of cake. Last few sets, I feel like my hands are slipping off. And I got the cals to prove, I've put in enough work to where straps, I think I've earned the right to use them. Back to work. I appreciate that. Hey, Mikey, welcome on in. Hey, Mikey. Earlier, Night Owl Paul got timed out for 10 minutes, and I couldn't figure out why. So if you can figure that out, let me know. All right. So we got 3 more sets on that. We got incline curls. Now that's going to be for hypertrophy. Those are going to be our 15 rep sets. Cable cross, that'll also be a little bit more hypertrophy, 15 to 20 rep sets. Appreciate that. Thanks. And then, we'll go from there. So this one, we're going to go overhand. Actually, yeah. I forgot you can do cross grip on these. Yeah, we're going to do, first one's underhand. This one will do overhand. Next one will do cross grip. It will finish overhand. Because underhand works a little bit more biceps. We've got other bicep workouts to do. So. Come on. God, it's the grip. Just Grip strength's what's failing. I need the straps. So, Hot Sauce, I know you're probably quite glad about this, and several of y'all are. So, now a union ball. First time I have gotten the choice to join a union. I have. Went from the single least unionized state in the U.S. to the most. Literally, 50th to first. 51st if you count. Actually, 52nd if you count D.C. and Puerto Rico to first. Actually, D.C. may be more unionized than here, but D.C. shouldn't be a state. See, I agree that it's time for a 51st state, but it's that we should let Puerto Rico vote because Puerto Rico can do good barbecue and DC can't. Therefore, Puerto Rico should get precedence. Fight me. I like. I really like it. As far as DC statehood is concerned, I more just like to troll people from DC. It's not that I'm actually against it, but again, states with good barbecue should get precedence. And Puerto Rico's got better barbecue than DC. Pocket timing right now. Someone effed up. If you did, it happens. I mean, innocent mistakes, no big deal. But you may want to apologize to him. He was just chilling anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. But all right, let's go. It's the grip strength. My hands are just completely white after letting go. There's nothing I could do about that. Yeah, no amount of rice training is gonna fix that. That's just I've been going for 20 plus sets. All right, we go down for a final set. Do a few more reps. Do just 2 plates. I'll also say I don't generally like the grips. This plastic grips on a lot of the hammer strength machines. Um, I'm a much bigger fan of just knurled metal. Uh, Definitely will give you uh, tougher calluses, but once you've developed those calluses, which hurts for the first few weeks, but if you get into lifting at all seriously, it won't be a problem for a while. Once you've got those calluses, a knurled bar gives you so much more grip. Uh, it's not even close. All right. This is from the grocery store. I have my phone in my pocket. Oops. So yeah, do one more set of pull downs here, then we'll move to incline curls. If we got time after abs, we might do some posing. I don't have that much I need to do today. Apart from working out, I've got 2 chores I need to do today. I'd like to get some reading done. There really isn't that much I need to do. No, that reminds me, schedule update. So I thought the modeling show is next weekend. It isn't. It's the weekend after that. So this weekend we'll stream. Next weekend we'll probably stream. Um, Weekend after that, I will not be on the air. I will be at the modeling show. So I don't know whether or not they'll be showing it online. I'll get more information on that as time goes along. Let's go. Last set on here. Last set on this machine anyway. Yeah, I'm like, if you were to take these plastic grips off this machine and all the other hammer strength machines, just leave the bare metal pole, I would be happier. I don't think most people would be, but once you get calluses, uh, you don't want that. You just want hand on metal. So one thing I like about a lot of the military equipment on base gyms is that it's usually not in the best shape. Not because it's like bad equipment, but because it just gets used a lot more. Because it gets used a lot more for the hammer strength stuff, all those plastic grips wear down and eventually wear off. Which means and then they just don't get replaced, which means it's just bare metal. Sometimes rust, sometimes it's rusty metal, but it works. Hair is brown. Ugh, don't cut it again. Actually, let me talk to my modeling director about that. Let's go. Yeah, this is really easy. See, I could just sit here and crank these reps for days. It's the grip. You can see it starting to slip out of my hands. It's not. You could have probably banged out 5 to 10 more reps if it was just lat strength. I've got to get me some straps. All right, let's go hit incline curls. We'll move on to some cables. And then we'll move on to abs. Move on. Grooves on handles. Really have some. See, I think knurling does just. I think knurling does a better job. A little lazy. Look, it's only going to be one July 20th, 2024. Do you want to live it regretting how hard you worked? Or do you want to live it knowing you gave it your best? Simple as. How bad do you want it? That's what you need to be asking yourself. All right. Now we got incline curls. So, question. Why do incline curls? What's the value in this as opposed to a standard seated curl? Right? Okay, I don't really like this angle. That'll do. It's a little bit better. So, right. Why do this? Well, the standard curl, right, you're sitting straight up. You have decent, more or less 180-degree range of motion. An incline curl, your elbows are starting a bit further back, so you can really get a little bit more motion, range of motion on it, really get that stretch at the bottom. So as long as you're doing a full range of motion, I prefer incline curls to standard seated curls. It's not to say I don't ever do basic dumbbell curls, but one, I prefer them standing, and if I'm seated, I'd rather do incline. So incline curls, as you'd expect, if we're talking about maximizing range of motion, this is not going to be a high weight exercise. This is going to be, especially because we're in the latter quarter of our workout, right? So we're more in the hypertrophy 12 to 15 to 20 rep range at this point. In general, you should try and do your workouts with your lower rep ranges first and your higher rep ranges towards the end. You don't always have to do it this way, but you're never going to have more explosiveness than those first few sets you do in any workout because you're fresh. Obviously warm up, but in general, right, like you saw me doing a warm up set with 135 on rows. If I went and tried to do those, 6, 8, 10 rep sets on rows now, wouldn't be able to do it with the same weight. One, my grip strength wouldn't be enough, but two, my lats would be tired. Uh, so it's, you know, by this point, yeah, you want to be hitting those higher rep numbers, really working for hypertrophy. I don't think that was shouting. Well, okay, I don't want to shout. I'm in a public gym, bro. I can't just start shouting randomly. If we're gonna look at, I mean, people already look at me like I'm old strange for filming here, but like, come on now. So muscle mommy bad. Ripped. I appreciate that. We're we're working on it. Now I overate on Thursday. Had a really good meal. Overate last night too. Ended up I was doing well right up until like 9 at night. I got this sudden craving for peanuts, and I just started watching some YouTube shows and eating peanuts, and that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. I ended up eating like 800 calories worth of peanuts. Peanuts are delicious and really good for you, but they are extremely high in calories. So if you're not careful, you can demolish any calorie deficit very quickly with them. So my goal today is not just to hit a good workout, but uh, you know, hit my 200 grams of protein in more or less as few calories as I can. Did eat a lot of salad yesterday too, so I mean, I was putting good things into my body. I wasn't eating any junk, at least in the evenings. Did have a cookie or two at work because I was giving them for free, but otherwise, it was generally a good day for diet. But I ate too many peanuts late at night. All right, let's go. So for I think that was 9, like 8, 10, 11, 12. So for incline curls, right? You can do them uh, forearms forward, right? You can also do them slightly canted out. I like to alternate. I find canting them out really gets a good squeeze. Uh, Give it a shot. You find you like it, go for it. Arms looking huge. That's good. Yeah, we'll do some posing at the end. That's fair. No, I'm sure y'all would like that. Um, that was 12. We'll stick with that. I think 12 pretty good rep range for this. Bimbo pipeline go over. Appreciate that. Let's see. So what's we doing? We'll do 2 more sets of this. Um, yeah, we'll do 2 sets of this, and then we'll hit cable cross. We'll hit concentration curls. That'll be a good final uh, bicep workout. We'll hit abs. It'll be pretty good. Concentration curls will go probably like a 20 rep set. It's not uh, real good for a burnout. What I like to do with concentration curls is assisted reps at the end and just fighting it on the eccentric. Again, for a concentration curl, nobody's going to ask you how much you 1 rep max on that. Understand the point of certain exercises. There's some that are meant for explosiveness and some that are meant for hypertrophy. None of these latter workout exercises are meant for explosiveness. Arms and shoulders looking huge. I appreciate that. I'm putting in the work, at least in the gym. Diet needs to be better. But, yeah, your boy is we're working hard. By the way, Mikey, can you give Miss Hot Sauce there a shout out? Because I really respect that. You coming off a recovery. Um, but it's not deterring you from working as hard as you can. And I really admire that. So shout out to my homegirl across the pond there. I will say it's I'm sure I'm in your good graces just because you wouldn't have expected this capitalist to join a labor union, but here we are. No, that's just interest in me. It's possible to be both pro-capitalist and pro-labor union. In fact, I think they work well together. Alternate this one. Come on. 9, 11. It was a tough, day where you don't really want to, but you drag your ass to the gym anyway. See, I love this. That's what I'm talking about. That's what when I say be the best version of yourself that you can be, right? Y'all gotta up your game. I've gotta up my. This hot sauce coming off of a cancer diagnosis, and she's going to the gym. What's your fucking excuse, right? There's no excuse. Just go to the gym, and when you get there, bust your ass. You might not set a PR every single time you sit in the gym. In fact, it's statistically overwhelmingly likely that you won't. But it's that consistency. That consistency, right? It's the same thing I say at the end of every show. Make your decisions. Decisions form actions. Actions form habits. Habits form values. Values form ethos. You build that ethos of this is a priority in my life. Of I will go to the gym. I will work out. I need it to feel and look and act my best. Then you're going to do it. Wait, hold up. You don't? I thought it was. You've been saying chemo for the longest time. I just assumed it was cancer. I ain't no fucking communist though now. That's There's a difference between organized labor and any socialist or communist advocate. I'm capitalist to the core, but see, it's one of the bedrocks of capitalism, right? And that true capitalism allows for labor unions, much in the same way that, right, government should not be used to corrupt the free market in general, right? Anti-labor union laws are effectively the companies trying to work and use the government as a tool to suppress the natural value of labor. Which in the same way that, again, there are limits. To the extent that companies can collude and collaborate, so too should labor be able to collude and collaborate. You can never eliminate either. You shouldn't allow it to become a cartel or a monopoly. Um, this is where you get into the issues with federal labor unions or teachers' labor unions, getting a bit too powerful and causing problems. But in general, you should allow for organized labor. I'm not a fan of right to work for that reason. Right to work is really just a way to undercut any union. cheating a bit on the end there. It's okay. All right, so we would do cable cross next. However, at the moment, cable machine is occupied by someone else. So we will do concentration curls first. Yeah. So right, labor unions can absolutely get too powerful. A good example is the poster child for labor unions getting out of whack is what happened to British Leyland in the 1970s, where right, the purpose of a labor union should not be to protect bad workers. The purpose of a labor union should be to ensure that good workers get uh, what they deserve. And when labor unions start trying to spend all their time protecting the rotten apples, that's what spoils the cart. You should, I think, if I were running a labor union, improving benefits and making the company seem as attractive as possible to attract the high-end talent that makes a company better, makes it more profitable in the long run, and then sharing those profits with the workers, that's what I would want to see. Protecting bad workers happens all too often. Protecting people that show up to work drunk or high, protecting people who show up late or underperform. You don't want that. That's where rot sets in, right? Unfortunately for British Leyland, one of the biggest problems with British cars of that era were almost entirely quality issues. Um, if the cars got built at all, much of the time British Leyland spent dealing with strikes through the entire decade, which means cars didn't get built. And because cars didn't get built, they couldn't sell any, which means they didn't make a profit. Because they didn't make a profit, they went bankrupt. You have to actually, manufacture the goods you are trying to sell. Otherwise, your business will fail. But even when they did build uh, cars through that decade, the quality was horrendous. Uh, Many cars failed to work properly out of the factory gates. That's not a sustainable business. Right, so here, right, what is a concentration curl? Let's talk about that. Concentration curl. Tilt it downward a bit. The whole goal here is to isolate. So we are keeping elbow rested against knee, and we're just curling. I'm going to go for max reps here. I'm going to do myo reps. Eccentric. 16. The entire country, South Africa, has massive corruption issues. I mean, their electric grid is failing. Frankly, after Mandela left office, South Africa became very corrupt very quickly. They're using race, unfortunately, as a way to distract from the issue. You can't, right? Let me be very clear about this. Ooh, biceps are pounding there. So be very clear about this, right? You can't sit there and whitewash away all the nasty things apartheid South Africa did. But the problem is that what you also can't do is try to demonize all whites after apartheid ends. Because when you do that, you get white flight, and then that's what Zimbabwe ended up turning into. You just exile all the white people who have a lot of the skilled trades and know how to run industry and know how to run business. If you lose that knowledge base, what effectively you're doing is giving yourself a giant brain drain. You want equality, but you don't want to kick out all the skilled labor in your country. Again, Zimbabwe did this, and obviously Zimbabwe is even more corrupt than South Africa, but you get the point. It's not smart, right? It's self-sabotage in the name of justice. It doesn't work out well for anybody. So we're still waiting on cables. So since we can't do that at the moment, I'm gonna use the bathroom and stand right by here, y'all. Drinking a lot of water today, overhydrated a bit. Is what it is. There we go. All right. So cables are still taken. So what we'll go ahead and do is hit abs, and whenever the cables get free, we'll go use them. Yeah. So we need to do cable cross, so we kind of need both, which is, try not to hog it. Definitely got to do, you know, drop my book. Guess something a little bit more crowded in here. That's to be expected. Saturday morning. Been going for a minute, but we don't have that much longer to go. So we'll go here. That'll do. Right. What we're doing here, real simple. Just hanging leg raises. You can do this with weight, but today I'm going to do with it just holds. So nice. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna do two more sets of hanging, or we're doing two more sets of leg raises. Now normally I will do hanging leg raises. Because my grip strength's failing, we want to work abs here. So we're using the Roman chair. Just do 3 sets of 10 for a 3-second raise. The nice thing about these, I'll bring you guys in just a bit further, a bit closer. Nice thing with these is you're really working your lower abs. Gives you, it allows you to work. These lower abs are always just really pesky to hit properly. I found that this is the best exercise to hit them with. This and decline sit-ups are pretty good, which we could do. No, we couldn't actually. Not in here. We don't have a decline bench. Oh well. Yeah. Process is definitely. I think what's happened in South Africa is on a much smaller extent, similar to what happened in Zimbabwe. Resentment of the uh, upper middle class and wealthy whites has led to a lot of them exiting and a lot of political rhetoric designed to distract the rest of the population from the real underlying issues that plague the country. Because a lot of those whites are the only skilled labor South Africa had, for things like, you know, maintaining the electrical grid. A lot of them are leaving. Because a lot of them are leaving, South Africa's electrical grid's starting to have major problems. Another very interesting side note of this is that South Africa has chosen to align itself with BRICS, the S in BRICS, and in general, with the exception of India, uh, and to a lesser extent Brazil, a lot of those countries, really, I mean, every other country besides India and perhaps Brazil is more or less an economic vassal of China at this point. Uh, Russia's more or less just China's gas station at this point. Uh, and South Africa's more or less just China's strip mine at this point. And that's not going to bode well for them over time. China isn't going to give them skilled labor, right? Whatever skilled labor China supplies is strictly going to be for the extraction of resources to send back to Beijing. There won't be any valuable infrastructure or education actually provided by these Chinese investments, quote unquote, into African or developing economies, right? It's not to say the United States or Europe's much better. What's happened in the Sahel has proved that certainly the French aren't, but let's not act like the Chinese are saints here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. I think I may have skipped one. That might have just been a set of 9. I do see the cables are open, so let's move. Awesome. So for this one, such a lot here. So we've got 3 sets of the cable cross. Cable cross, you go 1 high, 1 medium, 1 low. Real simple. You lean back, cross over, you lean back. Should be able to see, right, we're working lats, working rear delts. Pretty simple. 39 should do fine. So giving you a good view. Oh yeah, fine. By the way, can I get a view count check? I would appreciate that. Nice. All right, now go to mid. In general, I find I can do a little bit more on the high than the middle, a little bit more in the middle than the low. The real hypertrophy here, that was a 15 rep set. Probably go 15 to 20 as well here. That after, yeah. What happened? I don't know what happened there. Oh, you're talking about dropping the book. My bad. Yeah. Actually, the one developing country I really wish, not to say we need to create an alternative to BRICS economically, but one I wish we'd reach out to more is Argentina right now. I think Malai, regardless of what you think of its politics, is certainly more pro-Western and pro-US in particular than a lot of other countries in South America. It would be good to have an ally down there. Although, obviously, since we're very good allies with the British, that may cause some issues over the Falklands. All right, let's go. This is one where I know a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't go with imperialism or whatnot, or blah, 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 but the Falklands are British as far as I'm concerned. The vast majority of people there are British, view themselves as British, and want to remain British in every single vote they've ever had. So popular sovereignty would dictate uh, accordingly on that one. That was good. Again, Argentina. If you want the Falklands so badly, you know, I'd call it a skill issue, right? Make residents of the Falklands want to be Argentine instead of British. Run your own country better, and then maybe they'll want to join. Now for this one, we have to be somewhat bent over. So I should raise y'all up a bit more. That'll work. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so this is our final crossover set. Might do some cable crunches since we're here. We'll pose. We'll call it a day. We've been in the gym for 2 hours, so. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Let's finish her off. Reset the cable crunches. We'll be done. So cable crunch, real simple. You start kneeling, you crunch, you bring it back up, you use your abs. Really pretty self-explanatory. I don't think this is a particularly complicated exercise to understand. Yeah, that'll work. I just need to up the weight. Let's go. Oh, 2 more. I always feel the burn on these. These are pretty solid. I can never quite decide which grip I prefer better. In general, I like the ropes for this, but what I don't know is overhand or underhand grip. Pros and cons to each, really. It's a feel thing. Pick whichever one feels more comfortable. And the whole point of this is to hit your abs, so whatever allows you to grip it for longer. Which again, that's kind of the point we're at right now. The other one is try and get a little bit further away from it. Like 2 feet probably works pretty well. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, it needs to be further back. Oh, ooh, that's tough. No mas. Last set. Need to figure out if there's some way I can get an intro in these lifting streams. Not quite sure how to do that. BTW, tomorrow is a rest day stream, so we'll be chilling. Maybe I'll do some of that rice grip stuff. I don't know. I really don't think grip strength. I could stand to do it, but I don't know. You know what? Actually, we'll do some wrist curls while we're here. Last set on abs. Oh my god. God, those are good. Yeah, well, we're here. We'll do some wrist curls. have a straight bar, we might as well. A little bit more, huh? A little bit more. What else do I have to do today? Yeah. Probably don't quite need that much. Try 49 here and see how it feels. It's not bad. Bang out a couple more sets of that. Let's do reverse grip this time. Feel that forearms for sure. All right. So I just gotta find someone to raid. In the meantime, we'll do some posing. Yo, Mikey, you around? Not at all. Let's find out who I want to raid. This isn't. Someone's using this over here. We'll bounce. Yeah, it's taken. All right, that's fine. That's gonna be it for us then. So it's fine. We're gonna raid. Who we got? We got Holder and we got Jacob Lyle. Haven't raided him in a while. We'll raid Jacob Lyle. All right. Read Jacob Lyle. He's playing some old school RuneScape, y'all. Should be a good time. So that's gonna be it for me today, y'all. I will be live again tomorrow at uh, probably somewhere around the same time. I don't know yet. It's going to depend on my schedule. I will be live at some point tomorrow. I may even do another chill, just hanging out stream later today. Not really sure. Keep you check the Discord, so that way we'll go from there. So we got 60 seconds until the raid. Thank you all very much for coming out. Thanks for redeeming the first. Big Red, everybody. Thanks to the Hydrate, Zipper 747, Princess of Mischief. Thank you very much for the follows. Oh, those are all from the other day. Never mind. So that's gonna be it for me, y'all. As always, you know what I say at the end: make good decisions. Good decisions form your actions. Those actions form your habits. Those habits form your values. Values form an ethos. Be the guide star through the rough waters of life. So we got 25 more seconds here. Put them in for the hug. All right. Raid message is full rush. I will be chilling in the Discord after this, so you know, come hit me up after that. Otherwise, got 10 seconds. That'll be it for me. We'll we'll say aloha. See you tomorrow. All right, that's the raid. Excellent.